Okay. Welcome. And thank you for joining me today for this it's not a sad occasion, it's actually a happy occasion. Because not only is something going away that wasn't worth something born. Something is being resurrected. So, if you're joining me, I want to make sure that you can handle it. Because we're about to go into a topic that for some people may be very touchy. Some people will read the title alone and get in their feelings, right? Not really understanding the content, not really understanding the context of what I'm actually about to say. So I want to make sure that you can handle it. Can you handle it if I go there, baby, with you, with some truth? Because I'm going to set it out. I'm going to set it off. Baby, can you handle? Okay, so check this out. I was, just another day, doomsday scrolling. We all do it. We're all guilty of doomsday scrolling on Instagram. And I saw this one post by a very prominent media news outlet source for Black people, which was giving or showing these pictures of what they called Black love. And it was great to see the pictures of what they depicted as Black love, but man, when I saw the pictures, I was like, damn, this person is okay. We got celebrity basketball player, celebrity tennis player, celebrity, what's another sport? Boxer, celebrity. It was like all like these pictures of, and this is not just the first time. This is not a first. So I don't want y'all to see this video and be like, oh, you just went off, you going off over one article. No. I saw this article and it just reminded me of what I am bombarded with by our Black news media outlet people. Whenever we talk about Black love, the conversation tends to get very commodified. And I don't know about anybody else that's out here in this here dating pool, in these dating pool streets. I can't speak for nobody else. But when I'm out and about in the world, and I'm meeting other Black people, my perspective is coming into this conversation as a person who is over 40, number one. 40 plus, number one. 40 plus, number one. Number two, I'm coming into this conversation as I am everyday people, and I meet everyday people, and I greet everyday people. And so it's like, they don't look like that. They're not, they're not 6'3". They're not, they're varying in height, varying in weight, varying in, may have children, may not have children. We may be talking about a blended family situation going on. We may be talking about, people who are just in different places in life, and that's what it looks like in those conversations and situations, okay? So if that's what it looks like for you, I would love to hear some of your feedback as far as your dating experience as well. But anyway, let's keep going. So I see this article by this prominent news source, and I'm going to stress that it's prominent. Hundreds of thousands of followers, hundreds of thousands of black women followers. Let me state that. So many of us, and I don't know what the exact statistics are, but I know for a fact that there are a lot of unmarried black women in the world, unmarried, hadn't been, wrangled and tied down, and haven't been, at all. Now, some are women who have been divorced, some have been married, some have, some are widows. But there are a lot of sisters that don't have husbands, which puts us in the world, in the realm of being a dater, which means we are dating, right? So my question, as I search these streets, these streets, these hypothetical internet streets, as I search these streets to find answers about, man, trying to get some insight on this dating thing here. Where can I go? I should go here because this is for black women, but I don't see myself there. And this is black love. Oh man, what's going on? I don't see myself. Am I here? I'm showing up. And I'm not seeing myself represented there. So I want to be very, very real and very vulnerable in this live, okay? So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of tidbit about some of my dating experience, right? So I want to start by saying I do classify myself as bisexual. I have no qualms about that. I have been in a intimate and physical relationship with a woman before who was closeted, as many black women are. I'm going to be honest about that. Many black women are closeted. But yeah, most definitely have done that before. Shared an experience about that. Alice Walker talks about that in The Color Purple. Alice Walker does an eloquent job, dealing with that relationship of bonding, how women can come together and bond, and sometimes that bond can be so close that it becomes intimate in the area of like romantic intimacy or physical intimacy. And that's exactly what happened. I was going through a very difficult time where, once again, opened my heart up to a black man, because that's all I've ever dated was black men. Opened my heart up to a black male who therein, just continuously, no matter, hey, like I'm sitting telling them exactly what, hey, so yeah, this is emotional abuse, what you're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? This is really hurting me. This is not working. This is to have that whole thing ignored. And, you have to go through like some things in order to get back to yourself. But I had the pleasure of having this experience. And because of the fact that I respect the person's privacy, I'm not going to call their name. I'm not going to. But when I say that they are what's the word I want to use? I want to use, they are so anti-homosexual, anti-gay, that they literally have made that a part of their being, to say how much, like, I don't like the gays, I don't like gay people, I don't agree with this, I don't agree with, but yet and still, like, I've been with you. What are you talking about? Like, oh, you don't call that. Okay. Okay. You don't understood. Yeah. So, that's not my business to judge or to try to make sense of what somebody else is making sense of in their head. All I know is that it was beautiful. I enjoyed the friendship. I enjoyed, you know what I'm saying, the exploration of the female body and the female anatomy with someone that I truly and genuinely trusted at that point in time. Yeah, it was nothing that I regret. So moving on, but I was really traumatized by that experience because the individual did not want to become uncloseted. So that traumatized me in a way to say, oh my God, let me not ever again. Because I don't want to get my feelings involved with someone that's not prepared to take that next step, and let's just do this. And, we could have been building together up to this day. Could have been building together. We were like-minded. We had, very similar hustles and ambition. Very ambitious young woman. As many black women are. Very ambitious. Started, had a business doing, things, building and making creative arts type things. But I say all that to say we live in a world that is very limiting for women in general, but for black women, when it comes down to our ability to date and to find love, our world is very, 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 very traditionally very small. Our pool of actual available, and I'm not just talking about not married. No, I'm not just talking about a man that's not married. If we're talking about doing it, because remember, this is about black love, and the idea of black love is usually a heterosexual partnership, right? A man and a woman, right? So we are living in a time where not only are we facing scarcity from the availability, the literal logistical availability of black men, but we also face the logistical availability of emotionally available, emotionally mature black men who are ready to step into this idea that they themselves created and not complain about the idea of being, if you are wanting to be a provider, then you step up into that and you be that. If you're wanting to be a support, you step into it and be it. But the amount of emotionally available, not just romantically or intimately available, but emotionally available, emotionally mature partnerships, that makes it even tinier. It makes it even tinier. And here we are, some of us at least, baby, we gonna try to squeeze up in that. We gonna get in because we love black men. We love our men. Oh, black man, we love you. Even though some of us are not gonna fit in there, and that's just the way it is. And that's just, let's be real. Let's look at the numbers. Let's be realistic in our approach and how we view this issue. Some of us just will not fit in there. It can be because of, because remember, we're dealing with an idea. And for a lot of men, they are literally chasing an ideal woman. They are, even though they're not ideal themselves, the expectation is ideal, not realistic. She must do this, she must do this, she must do this, she must be this, she must do this, she must. And the gag is, are you guys ready for the gag though? Okay. The gag is, even for the women who are able to squeeze in between there and meet all the check marks, every last one, every check off, check, 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 check. Bitch, you still may get cheated on. You still may get cheated on. You still may get left for another woman. You know what I'm saying? You still may get left for Becky with the good hair. You still may. So the thing that what I'm trying to get us to understand here is that this way of being and viewing black love, that came from a time when you know, we could go back to good times. Good times anytime you need a baby. Good times anytime. These man, I hear people hollering about how they want Florida Evans when they not James. You not James. You don't get Florida when you're not James, sir. You're not. You in the streets happily. You're in and for the streets happily. That's where you want to be. And you want your cake and you want to eat it too. And that's where you want to be. You don't want to, to grow and learn how to be a leader, but you want to be a leader, but you don't want to learn nothing to show yourself approved. You don't want to learn how to be emotionally available. You don't want to take the necessary steps to get there. But you want Florida when you're not James. So what I'm saying right now, what the point to this requiem, as I am mourning something that there's nothing wrong with cis hetero relationships. There's nothing wrong with the idea of black love as it existed once upon a time, that only showed one aspect of it. There's nothing wrong with that. And thank you to the person that has joined this video. Please leave a comment or holler at me right here in the comments. Let me know your thoughts as well. Let's make this an interactive thing, and I will be reposting this on my YouTube as well, so it will continue to live on after this moment. So yeah, most definitely. So what I'm saying as I'm mourning that is not saying that we can't, as beautiful black melanated people, have relationships. What I'm doing is I am ushering in the birth of the rebirth of black love. Okay, so we got the auntie in the background, that's, you know what I'm saying, because we all a little sad, you know what I'm saying, man. I had to have a funeral for that idea, because I just knew, honey, I just knew. You couldn't have told me that by 2025 I would not be, married, a pastor's wife somewhere, sitting up, and you couldn't have told me that. You couldn't have told me that this traditional idea would not be my life until I did everything that I thought I was supposed to do. I dated the guys. I did what they asked me to do. I made it simple. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Easy as 1, 2, 3. I made it simple, but at the same time, this is where it was a little different for me, though. I'm not even gonna lie. Because I've always been neurodivergent. I've always been this girl. I was not gonna allow you to take away my ability to think for myself. If I had a thought about something, I was going to express my thoughts. If it made you uncomfortable, sorry. And I used to apologize for that back then, because I didn't know. And it used to just baffle me. I'm like, why would you get upset? Like, I thought we're on the same team. So why are you getting upset because I your teammate have a different thought than you? Then I realized that some of these traditional thinking men honestly don't even want to be in relationship with a woman that has independent thought capability. Like, you're not supposed to think for yourself. And to that, and to that, and to that point, I realized, oh, wow, this is going to be a lot more difficult for me than what I anticipated. Because my idea of love was seeing my mother and father, who are still married to this day, but they gave me an unrealistic expectation of love, because that is what they thought the right thing to do was to be unrealistic with it, right? Literally. So this is the story of how my parents said that they had met. Check this out. They told me that they met, first of all, it was at church. And apparently, my dad sent a note through someone like, oh, you are so beautiful, I would like to date you. And I'm like, you sent a note? Like, oh, and this is me at 13. Of course, being an 80s baby, so I grew up in the Disney era where all the Disney princesses. So combine that with this messaging that I'm receiving. Yeah, so I sent a note, and I told your mother she was beautiful, and then I had to go overseas because he was in the military. I had to go overseas. And then my mother chimes in, and when he was overseas, he used to write me letters every week, and he was in Vietnam. So he wrote me letters, and he proposed to me over the letter, and then we got married, and I came to Europe, and then they got married and lived happily ever after. Really? So I'm waiting on a note. I'm literally waiting on a note. It is a page from a romance novel that never happened. The only notes I got was, do you like me, yes or no? Circle yes or circle no. So I'm thinking, okay, this might be my Beyonce. Because that is up until around, like, literally until I reached my 20s. That was my idea of how love would happen. This romantic gesture that would lead to, a person saying, oh, well, I want to date you and want to be with you, and then we would be together forever. And this is, mind you, after I got knocked up, right? Because my body grew. Of course, my hormones grew, my body grew, right? I just didn't, I wasn't cued into the social, aspects of how relationships actually work. And so I say all that to say, as I'm uncovering what is real, what is not real, I want the next generation to not have to go through those phases. When they look on their phones and their devices, and they're seeing these pictures where people are using terminology like black love, and they're not seeing that sometimes black love doesn't happen until after you've gone through a divorce. Sometimes you really don't find love until after you find, you've had a child, maybe even out of wedlock. Sometimes that doesn't happen until, you've gone through some type of a catastrophic event that may change the way that you move. Your body may change, your things about you may change. Sometimes it doesn't happen, with a cis hetero relationship. Sometimes you find black love in the most unexpected of places. you know? So we gonna take that heterosexual, traditionalist version of black love, and me and Auntie right here, we gonna Lord, damn. Okay, so we gonna have this requiem where we celebrate it for what it was. It's homegoing, child. Oh, that old school thought of black love and what it's supposed to be, and it's gotta be this, and it's gonna look like that, and it's gonna be this. You're gonna get a basketball player, you're gonna get a celebrity, you're gonna get a doctor and a lawyer together, and you're gonna get a this, you're gonna get a and everybody gonna be, nobody gonna be struggling with mental illness, nobody gonna have kids, nobody gonna, you know what I'm saying, have a stained tooth, nobody gonna have, no cellulite, nobody gonna live, nobody gonna be, on the come up. You will have already arrived when you find black love. We don't find black love on the bottom. No, we don't find it there. We gonna find it, and it's wealthy, and it's this, and it's that, and it's it. No, we laying that to rest. First of all, black love starts in your own black soul, spirit, and mind. You must first love yourself. Don't jump in and out of relationships. Don't waste time. Start the relationship and the work on yourself first. Seek that kingdom of heaven within you. Everything else will be added in due time. Black love starts with loving yourself first and best, because if you don't love you, how do you expect anybody else in this whole wide world to? If you don't accept you, the real you, how do you expect anybody else in this big old world to? Start with yourself. Love yourself. Be good to yourself. Learn how to be with yourself before you can be with someone. That way you're showing up to your black love situation, no matter who it's with. No matter who it's with. No matter your gender identity or sexuality, you're showing up as a whole human being. We don't need no more trauma and traumatizing one another in our relationships because we weren't really ready to date in the first place. Because we were looking to this dead definition of what black love is supposed to be and checklist. This person needs to check this, check. Why don't you love them for who they are? Usually when people can't love you for who you are, it's because they don't love themselves for who they are. It's a reflection of the relationship that they have with themselves, and it's less to do with you. So I want you to be reminded of that today. As we bury our, and you know what, as we birth this baby, I want you to watch this video as many times as you need to as you go through your relationships. Maybe somebody is healing from a breakup. Maybe somebody is questioning whether or not they want to go into another relationship, or if they thought it was time, or if they thought they were ready. So I want you to watch this as many times as you need to and get what you need from it. And remember, before you go into that next relationship, go in whole. And if you meet a person that's not whole, get out. Don't stick around for the sake of black love, sticking around. No, because you're going to do more damage in the end to yourself and potentially to somebody else if you're not honest. What's meant for you will be for you. Okay? If it's meant to be, it'll be. All right. So I love you so much. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm at the 30-minute mark. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. All right. I'll talk to y'all a little bit later. And let's spank the booty on Black Love, this new identity. So I'm gonna spank the baby's booty. That's the baby crying. The new Black Love baby that includes all of us. The new Black Love baby that we see ourselves in. That includes all melanated people. No matter who you are, no matter your identity, no matter your age, no matter your ability. It's born. Because I literally spoke it so it's here. In the words of Intisaki Shange, let her be born. Let her be born and handled warmly. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.